Hello there and welcome back to Bullets for Bucks. My name's Stephen Bresnaugh and today I'm going to be reviewing this First Lite Kiln Hoody long underwear top, or the First Lite Kiln 250 gram X merino wool top. Now, I bought this I think about 6 months ago from First Lite, and I've used it all the way from early September hunts in 90-degree heat through to sub-zero temperatures, well, elk hunting at over 10,000 feet. And I want to give you my opinion and some of the basic specs of this Kiln Hoody. First off, let's just go over some of the basic specs of this Kiln Hoody. They say it's made of gram merino X fabric. They say it's 18.5 micron extremely fine wool. I'm not sure how all those things help, but I can tell you what my experience has been with it. So first off, I noticed with it, it's very comfortable. It doesn't have that itchy old school wool feel to it, you know, like the old Army surplus long johns you'd get, and man, they just itch. You'd just be all itchy. Not with this. Whatever they've done to it, this merino wool has almost, there's really no itch. It's extremely comfortable, has a very soft, nice feel to it. There's no itch feel, like I said. So that's the first thing I noticed right off the bat. The second thing is these seams are extremely well sewn, and they lay very flat. So although there's seams all around on this piece of fabric, I don't feel any of them against my skin, and so that's also really nice. With cheaper long johns, you would feel the seam, but you just don't feel it the way this seam's designed on these. The third thing I noticed was out in the field, when these got wet, they retained their thermal qualities very well. Like they kept me warm. So you could have something soaking wet, like around one day or a couple days, actually, I didn't wear gaiters, and the snow and water got up into my socks and onto the bottom of my long johns, which are made of the same material, and also the snow got in and along the sleeve right here a couple of times, and then melted. And even though they were wet, they still kept me very warm in those areas that they were wet. Unlike synthetics, where I'd get wet and it would just freeze like a ring around your wrist or your ankle. With these, I've noticed, man, it still keeps you very warm even when wet. The next thing I noticed was, wow, they really are very breathable. Like, you don't get that sticky wet feeling really quickly or at all really with these like you do with synthetic long johns. I cannot tell you how many times you get that, you know, damp wet feeling and then you freeze. Well, they breathe so much better than any synthetic I've ever used. And also on top of that, they retain their thermal properties when wet, like synthetics don't seem to. So both a huge win there, way more comfortable in the field, kept me extremely warm in very bad conditions. So really was impressed. I am not the type to spend big money on long johns or hoodies like this. And for me to do that was kind of a leap of faith. And I was like, man, I don't know, this might just be a huge waste. But I was blown away at how much more effective they were at keeping me warm, dry, and comfortable. Another thing that's nice about this Kiln Hoody is that it has a nice zippered pocket right here, so you can put a snack in there or whatever have you, your cell phone, and it just stays nice and secure in there. It's a high quality zipper, seems to work really good. Haven't had any problems there. Another thing is right here, you can zip this down to let out heat. So you might be hiking, and you're getting overheated, or you feel like you're going to get overheated, and you don't want that moisture to build up because, well, dampness ultimately does cool you down faster than being dry, and it's dangerous when you're out in the elements if you get damp or wet. So you can just zip this way down and just shed a bunch of that heat really quickly and easily. One thing I absolutely love, because I ended up hunting in a blizzard literally on the mountain this year, was that it has this built-in hoodie. So this hood works perfect. You can put it over a hat like I am right now, zip this up, and it just keeps you so much warmer, your head so much warmer, and it's nice and flexible, so you can put it over a hat or just over another hood if you have another base layer on. They advertise this as being used as a base layer or a second layer, and I used it as both this year. And there was times, even in 40-degree weather where you're hiking, where I would take off all my other layers down to this, and it just did a great job at keeping me just at the right temperature to where I wasn't sweating and getting wet, but I wasn't freezing either or shivering. So really happy with this. It's super flexible, so it fits nicely, and you have really good movement. It doesn't restrict you at all like some of the thicker, older long johns used to. Another thing is they got a little finger loop here, so it can keep this up on your hand, keep your wrist and your hand warmer that way inside your gloves. Personally, I hardly ever use it. I know some people love them, but it is there just to let you guys know. Anyway, I'll put a link for this Kiln First Lite hoodie in the description below. If you use the link through Amazon, it does help out the channel. I get a very small percentage. I appreciate the business you can send my way, as it's difficult right now to make money to keep the channel going. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I look forward to hearing back from you.